Hello and welcome to the command phase. My name is Mark and thank you so much for joining me. It's that magical time of the year again when the Warhammer 40k Christmas Battleforces are being released. We've got a whopping 7 on offer this year for you to either start a new army or expand on an existing one. I'll be breaking down in this video what's inside, the cost and the points values for each of these boxes. The confirmed retail price directly from Games Workshop is £155, €200 or $250, which will be going live on Saturday the 15th of November, and in stores in case you miss out on the pre-orders on Saturday the 29th of November. Although if I was looking to get hold of a box, I'd try to take advantage of the discount online or local game stores offering up to 20% off RRP. I've got a few affiliate links in the description below if you'd like to help support the channel and save a bit of money. If using one of these stores, I'd advise popping on a little earlier than usual for pre-order times to try and snag one, especially the more popular ones. So without any further ado, let's get stuck in. First up, we have one of the cooler boxes for me of the 7, and that is the Astra Militarum's Krieg Siege Platoon. Inside the box you get 1 Krieg Command Squad, 1 squad of 5 Krieg Combat Engineers, 2 squads of 10 Death Corps of Krieg, and 2 artillery teams. This works out at RRP to be worth £204, €261 or $332 for the individual boxes on the Games Workshop website, which sits bottom of the pack in 7th place of the 7 boxes on show today. In terms of points, you get between 445 and 460 depending if you run it as 2 10-man squads of Krieg or 1 20-man unit, which again puts it in 7th place of the 7 boxes. Looking past the lower value and points in the box, I can see this being one of the most popular boxes to pick up. The Krieg's aesthetic for me is iconic, and they have some really fantastic looking newer models available in this box. Astra Militarum troops have always been low on points for the money, but at least being able to buy a good chunk here to start an army still makes this good value for money. This also pairs up pretty well with the combat patrol to have your army's core infantry taken care of, leaving you ready to fill with all the cool tanks this army has to offer. If I didn't currently have loads of projects, I might have been tempted myself. Next up, we have the first of the 2 Chaos Space Marine Battleforces with the Hellforged Warband box, which has an interesting variety of models inside. You get 1 Lord Discordant, a squad of 10 Legionaries, a squad of 5 Havocs, 1 Chaos Rhino, a Venom Crawler, and 2 Obliterators. This works out at RRP to be worth £217.50, €282 or $358 for the individual boxes on the Games Workshop website, which sits this in 5th place of the 7 boxes on show today. In terms of points, you get between 800 and 810 depending if you run it as 2 5-man squads of Legionnaires or 1 10-man unit, which actually puts it in 1st place of the 7 boxes. Overall, this is a good variety box to start or increase a collection with, and at 810 points, it's a good chunk of an army taken care of. The Disco Lord is a fantastic character and it's actually getting some love right now in lists, which is really nice to see. Havocs, Obliterators, Legionnaires and Rhinos are all great units to have. The Venom Crawler is a really cool model too, but not quite hitting the mark in the game right now, although that can certainly change. This certainly pairs up well with the Combat Patrol if you wanted to utilise both value boxes in order to build a collection up, with not many overlapping kits bar the Legionnaires, which having 20 of is probably about right for a few list options. The one thing I'm unsure about in this box is if the Legionnaires are the newly repackaged one with the Kill Team sprue. Judging by the image used to show them off, it doesn't look like it, which would reduce their value a little bit. But honestly, if you're interested in starting Chaos Space Marines, it could be well worth the pickup. Onto the second of the Chaos Space Marine Battleforces, and we are treated to the Emperor's Children Blissbound Warband. Inside the box you get Fulgrim, the Primarch of the Emperor's Children himself, 6 Flawless Blades, and a squad of 5 Noise Marines. This works out at RRP to be worth £224, €290 or $364 for the individual boxes on the Games Workshop website, which sits it in third place of these 7 boxes. In terms of points, you get 705 in the box, most of which is taken up by Fulgrim, which puts it in 4th place of the 7 boxes. Right off the bat, if you haven't bought Fulgrim and are thinking of collecting Emperor's Children, then this box is a must buy. You're basically buying him and the Noise Marines and pretty much getting 2 boxes of Flawless Blades for free, which is a great deal. These are all brand new models this year as well, which look fantastic and are really nice to build and paint. Not too much trim on these compared to standard Chaos Space Marines, plus a little taller as well. Pairing this Battleforce with the Army Release Box, if you can still find one, and or a Combat Patrol or 2 would be a great core to your force at a discounted price. Then you're just filling out with Transports and Demon Princes, Lord Cacophonus and of course Lucius, because his new model is fantastic too. Sadly, if you have Fulgrim already, then obviously skip this box, but for everyone else after Emperor's Children, it's a slam dunk purchase. Moving on to the smallest Xenos faction now, and the Leagues of Votann get another Battleforce this Christmas with the Chthonian Prospect. Inside the box you get 1 Brokier Ironmaster, 3 Brokier Thunderkin, 10 Chthonian Berserks, 1 Capricus Defender which can also be built as a Capricus Carrier, and 2 Chthonian Earthshakers. This works out at RRP to be worth £227.50, €292.50 or $369 for the individual boxes on the Games Workshop website, which sits in 2nd place of the 7 Christmas Battlefoce boxes. In terms of points, you get between 535 and 540 depending on which variant of Capricus that you build, putting it in 5th place of the 7 boxes. Right off the bat, this is a really good set of models to have for your Votann army, and honestly you'll end up utilising the vast majority of these. The character pairs well with the Thunderkin, who are a key part of the army these days, stripping cover from the enemy. Berserks are really good melee fighters and battle line in their specific detachment, which is really cool. The Capricus is a must-take if utilising Jaegers to help split them up, and the Earthshakers are decent home objective protection, with indirect often being a pain for some forces. This pairs up really well with the new Combat Patrol, sharing none of the units across either box, so a nice way to get some value before adding the necessary transports and tanks. The one thing to note here is that currently the Votann have just released in the Combat Patrol magazines here in the UK, so you can pick up some of the units still in these individual magazines for a heavy discount, which would include the Berserks. This either reduces the value a little bit for this box, or use that as a great way to pick up more. Issues seem to still be around at Forbidden Planet here in the UK, so if you're interested in Votann, look those up for even more money off models. Not gonna lie, it feels like there's a new Space Marine box revealed or releasing every week at the moment, but this Iron Halo Strike Force is a very good box for those interested. Inside you get 1 Captain with the Company of Heroes, 1 Primaris Lieutenant, 5 Stern Guard, 5 Hellblasters, 1 Ballistas Dreadnought, 1 Redemptor Dreadnought, and a Space Marine head swap sprue. This works out at RRP to be worth £240, €335 or $393 for the individual boxes on the Games Workshop website, which puts it in 1st place of the 7 Christmas Battleforce boxes, although that place is as high due to the additional head swap sprue, so do look at how valuable you think that'll be for you. In terms of points, you get 805 in the box, putting it in 2nd place of the 7 boxes. Overall, this is a really nice discount box for the Space Marines, especially if you're after some heavy firepower from the Stern Guard, Hellblasters and the Dreadnoughts. I can see this pairing up really well with the vast majority of Codex Space Marine combat patrols to boost an army, or alongside the starter set or Leviathan box set if you've gone that route. Definitely feel that this will be one of the most popular boxes available to pre-order, so if you are after this one, definitely jump on early to make sure you get one. These will sell fast. On to everyone's favourite Xenos race now with the Tau, and we've got the Farsight Cadre Battleforce here. Inside you get 1 Commander Farsight, 1 XB104 Riptide Battlesuit, 1 XB88 Broadside Battlesuit, and 3 XV8 Crisis Battlesuits. This works out at RRP to be worth £211, €273.50, or $345 for the individual boxes on the Games Workshop website, which sits in 6th place of the 7 Christmas Battleforce boxes. In terms of points, you get between 465 and 495 in the box, depending on which loadout you use for the Crisis Battlesuits, put it sadly in 6th place of the 7 boxes. This low points and low model count box feels a little bad, mainly due to how weirdly Tau's points and power level are these days. That being said, if you like battlesuits, then this is a fantastic box in that respect. Commander Farsight is a stunning model and a favourite of many 40k players. The Riptide, Broadside and Crisis suits are all pretty much must-have models in your army too, so if you fancied converting Farsight into a Cold Star commander or selling him off on the secondary market, I can see buying multiple of these battle forces a great option, as they are fantastic value for starting a Tau army. Adding on a combat patrol on top would give you a good solid force with options you don't get in this box either. This would definitely be a box I'd grab if I was thinking about collecting the army. Last of all, we come to the Tyranids Crusher Stampede Battleforce, and if you like big bugs, this one may well be for you. Inside we get 1 Neuro Tyrant, 1 Screamer Killer, 1 Tyrannifex which can also be built as a Tervigon, 1 Haruspex which can also be built as an Exocrine, and 1 Maleceptor which can also be built as a Toxocrine. This works out at RRP to be worth £219, €285, or $361 for the individual boxes on the Games Workshop website, which sits it in 4th place of the 7 Christmas Battleforce boxes. In terms of points, you get between 675 and 750 in the box, depending on which combination of big gribblies you build, putting it in 3rd place of the 7 boxes. If you're looking to get hold of some of the biggest bugs the Tyranids have to offer, this is it. With 3 of the kits having multiple options and the Neuro Tyrant and Screamer Killer sprue either an online only box with the Horrors of the Hive or just in the Leviathan box set, I can imagine you won't find it hard to sell those 2 off if you've got multiple of these boxes. Plus, if you weren't lucky enough to pick up the Leviathan set and use the starter set to begin a Tyranid army, this will pair up nicely with that, or the new Combat Patrol for that matter as well. Plus, with the Tyrannifex Tervigon box being the only one here that isn't online only, you'll probably find the discount feels a lot more too. Overall, you have 7 really good Christmas Battleforce boxes to choose from here, with a good amount of value inside of each if you wanted everything for either expanding an army or starting a whole new one. I can see the Space Marine, Chaos Space Marine, and potentially even the Krieg box being the fastest sellers of the lot, so if there is one that you really want, as soon as you know what time they're on pre-order, get on there as soon as you can, as typically they are limited in number. Let me know in the comments section below what you've made of these boxes, and are there any that you're going to be picking up for yourself? I'd love to know. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more, please hit that like and subscribe button, as it really helps the channel to grow. Thank you all so much for watching the command phase, and I'll see you in the next video.